A ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
When I was 16, 17 years old, my bedroom was the attic of my parents' house. One night, I proceed to have one of the most real feeling dreams I've ever had. In the dream, I'm sleeping in my bed. I wake up in the dream to an older woman standing in the corner of my bedroom. I do not know this woman, never seen this woman. She actually looked quite ghost-like, a little translucent. You could see through her a bit. Like she she looked like a ghost. She proceeds to ask me, I have a son. He needs someone to play with. Would you mind playing with him? Not sure why I chose to say yes, but I did. And I was like, yeah, I'll totally play with your son. That seems totally normal. Like, we're in a dream, so, like, fine, I'll play with your son. As soon as I say, yeah, I'll play with your son, he appears, like, if I'm laying in my bed, like, she's on this side, he appears on this side of the room, like, right where the stairs are, the top of the steps. And he starts to walk over to my bed, comes to my bed, and he's like, let's play arm wrestling. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. Let's play arm wrestling. So I put my hand up like this. He puts his hand in my hand, and we are arm wrestling. At first, it's like a good give and go. We're like, oh, yeah. And then, like, he pins my hand completely down. I feel his hand, hold on. I feel his hand around my hand, ice cold. He pins my hand down and is staring at me. And I'm like, okay, like, let's play again. And he goes, I don't think you want to play this game with me. Just like that, like, dead stare. I don't think you want to play this game with me. So I'm like, what does that mean? Let's play, like, okay, let's play the game. So he goes, no problem. Digs his nails into my hand like that and starts pinning my hand to the bed, yelling, I win, 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 I win. I rip my hand away from his. I feel the scratch marks on my, like, right here. And then he takes a step back with this, like, grin on his face. And he becomes this, like, black cloud of smoke. And I know that sounds unreal, but just stay with me. So he's this big cloud of smoke. This is all still in the dream. I get up, I'm screaming, I jump out of my bed. Here's where it gets crazy. I jump out of my bed in the dream and I wake up in real life and I am fully standing on my feet. So as I'm standing on my feet, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I'm down the stairs, out the room, right? And so my mom and my sister are downstairs in the kitchen cooking breakfast. My mom is a very spiritual person, so I have no problem just being like, yo, this is what just happened. And it's like, disregard the dream if you want, but I was fully standing when I woke up. Insane. And so typically, not saying typically like this happens all the time to me, but like my mom we regularly would have priests come over, bless the house, things like that. So like that's not weird. So like my mom putting holy water around, throwing holy water around the house is not like an odd thing in my household. So like I'm expecting her to be like, okay, let me go get the holy water. I'll spray your room down. Like, not a big deal. She goes, the holy water is right there. You're going to go get it and go upstairs and throw it around your room with some salt. I'm like, why are you not doing it? She's like, I think you should do it. And I'm like, okay, this is insane. So I take the salt, I take the holy water, I go upstairs. My sister's like, I'll come with you, but I'm staying at the bottom of the stairs. Everybody's acting scared. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. This is something. So I have the holy water, I have the salt, I go upstairs. I have the holy water in like a little cup and I have the salt. I go upstairs. And so I'm like, throwing the holy water around, just a little fat around. And I have the salt and I throw it onto my bed and it sizzles. Bitch. I never ran down a flight of stairs faster in my life. I don't even think I touched one step. I jumped from the top 11 steps down, bow, hit it. I was downstairs the next flight, bow, hit it. I didn't stop for shit. I said, the only way I'm going back up there is if y'all bring a priest to hose this house down with a fire truck of holy water. I'm not playing at all with y'all. And so my mama got the priest to come, and he blessed the whole house, top to bottom. He didn't miss no floor, no nook, no cranny. And I never had an experience like that again. So I don't know where that little boy is at, but I hope his soul is at rest because he.
When my son was 3 years old, we had moved into a new house, and we noticed that shortly after moving into this new house, weird things started happening. Whether it was the TV turning on downstairs while all of us were upstairs in the middle of the night, my computer turning on, same thing, closet doors opening in the middle of the night, knowing full well that I had shut them before we went to bed. One of those closet door situations, I full on remember. So the closet doors are heavy. They're original to the house, and you had to press them shut. They will double doors until they clicked to know for sure that they were completely shut. And I would do that at night. And one night I'm laying in my bed, and my dog is at the foot of my bed, and he's growling. And the closet doors open, and then it feels like someone is crawling into bed with me. Yeah, no thanks. I literally just took the blanket and pulled it up over my head like, ugh. But the kicker was when my 3-year-old son came to me to tell me about the little girl in his closet that liked to play with our dog, and he called her Goldilocks. So after he had started noticing things happened, I reached out to someone who I knew was a medium to see if they had any recommendations in terms of who they could recommend to me to help cleanse the house. And so I reached out to this woman, and I didn't say anything to her other than, weird stuff is happening to my house. Can you please come and take a look? Because I wanted to see what her reaction was going to be without me sort of providing any ammunition. And she comes to my house and opens up the door, and the first thing that she says is, there's a little girl here. She looks like she's about 5 years old. She's wearing a white dress with blue flowers, and she's got blonde curly hair. Hello, Goldilocks, that my son had seen. And so the woman says, she's not scary, she's not intimidating, there's nothing to be, afraid of. She's tied to the house. Basically, she passed away in the house of something at the time that had been curable, like the flu or something like that. But she hadn't been able to leave since she had passed there. So the woman released her from the house so the little girl could leave. And basically, the little girl had asked if she could stay with us because she enjoyed being around my son and I. Which as a mom I thought was sweet, but also a little bit sad. But we got a little bit more of her backstory too. So I said that she had passed in the house, but apparently she had also been abused in the house. And the reason why the closet doors opened in the middle of the night is because she felt safe to come out, basically, and that's when the closet doors opened. So she had been abused by her father. She would hide in the closets at night, and when the closet doors would open after he was gone, she would come out. And that's why our closet doors also opened in the middle of the night, because she felt safe to come out then. So I felt bad. But the woman was like, yeah, if she can, stop from doing the creepy stuff and scaring us, then I don't have a problem with her staying. And the woman made a comment that, she was really excited, the little girl was, because now she could play with the other kids that were at the park across the street from my house. And I was like, oh yeah, the little kid's playing. She's like, not like you're thinking, little kids playing. I'm like, ghost little kids playing? She said, yes, ghost little kids playing. She ended up staying with us after that, and after the woman cleansed the house, there was no other odd or creepy things that happened. We had no issues with it until we left, and honestly, I haven't had any creepy experiences since then, because I've had several paranormal situations happen in my lifetime. But I thought it was sweet that she asked if she could stay with us, and, hearing her backstory made me feel sad and just wanted to be a better parent to my kid. But yeah, so we had Goldilocks the ghost hanging out with us for a year and a half. Fun times.
So my birthday is the day before Halloween, and last year me and my fiance decided that we would take a road trip the weekend before because my birthday was on a Monday. So we wanted to go somewhere that was kind of we haven't been before, but also good for fall foliage and just things to do. And we live in Western New York, and we didn't want to go too far. So we decided that we would go to Ithaca, New York, which is just beautiful in the fall. But we wanted to stay somewhere sort of outside of Ithaca so we could drive in and enjoy the road trip part. So we looked at hotels, and we didn't really find anything that was in our budget, and we've never done an Airbnb booking before, and we decided maybe it's time to look into that. So my fiance downloaded the app and she found a couple properties and we were kind of talking back and forth. She was sending things to me and we decided on this place that was in Seneca Falls, New York, which is about like an hour from Ithaca. So when we get there, there are people that are staying in the other apartment in this building. So it's just like a white house, but there's someone staying in the front apartment, like a family, and we feel a little bit better because we've never booked an Airbnb before and stayed in one. We've never been to Seneca Falls. We've seen Barbarian, so we're just like, at least there's another family here. We walk in. You can tell that the place is a little bit older, but the bedroom area is like refurbished and it looks a little bit newer and like doesn't have like the old kind of smell like the rest of the house does. So we kind of put our stuff down and then we go to look at the rest of the house, but it's really fucking weird. So when you walk in and you go to the right, there's like a little hall that leads into the kitchenette where there's like a couch and a really big TV. But in that hall, it's like part of the bathroom. So there's a shower on the one side of the wall, and then the other there's a sliding door that leads you to like the sink in the bathroom, and then that room has another door that's accessible from the bedroom. So we're just like, this place is weird, but we vibe with it. So we decide we want to go to the store, make something for dinner in the kitchenette, and just kind of have a chill evening. So later that night, we're cooking dinner and we're watching cartoons, and we decided we wanted to watch a horror movie. So I'm like, I'll go turn all the lights off. We'll make it fun. So I leave one lamp on in the bedroom area, and it's so far away from the rest of the house that like once you walk in through that like weird shower room, the light is only really illuminating part of that hall room, and then it doesn't really reach us, but it's kind of like a night light, like just, extra little protection. And then there's a sliding door that separates that weird shower hallway from the kitchenette. So I'm like, I'll close it like halfway, a little bit more than halfway. And that way we get some of the light from the hallway. We can kind of see into the bedroom. But we're still in darkness. So I sit down and the last light is the lamp that's next to me. I turn it off and we start watching the movie. Mind you, all of the windows and the blinds are like closed and drawn, so there's really no noises coming from outside. And the people that are in the other apartment, like you can occasionally hear them if they're laughing or talking really loud. It seems like they're like playing a card game because there's some laughing and shouting going on. But once we have the TV on and there's like a movie on, you can barely hear it. Like it's like kind of like they're down. It's like when you hear someone down the hall, it's like you can hear it, but since there's doors and windows closed, it's very, very muffled. So we start watching this movie, and like out of the corner of my eye, I'm seeing underneath the doorway, there's like this shadow, like some of the light that's reflecting on the floor is being overtaken by darkness, and it's like just faintly, and it's walking like it's pacing back and forth. Like I don't know if it's walking, I don't know what it is, but it's just like going back and forth underneath the doorway. And then I can also, like when I actually look up, because when you see something and you just kind of ignore it, I'm trying to ignore it, but when I look up, it's like on the corner of the door, there's this other blackness kind of encroaching. It's like you can't see the edge of the door frame. Like that's partially closed because this blackness keeps coming in. So I'm kind of just trying to ignore it. I shouldn't be ignoring it, but I am. And then in my ear, I'm hearing like this whispering, and I don't really remember the words that they're saying. I know one of them was leave, but it's just like like very, very weird noises and words all kind of mumbled in my ear. I just keep hearing this mumbling, and I'm like, this is strange. So I don't say anything because it's over here. My fiance is on this side of me. And I don't want to freak her out. So we continue to watch the movie, and then whatever was whispering in my ear must have been pissed that I was ignoring it, because right in front of my face, like right in front of my fucking face, it shouts like, get out, like very, very drawn out. So I'm frozen because I'm like, this something is like right in front of me, shouting at me, to get out. And it was in my ear trying to tell me to leave, and I didn't listen to it. And I immediately look at my fiance, like when I can move my head, and I'm like, did you hear that? And she's like, no. And I'm like, the window is closed, right? And she's like, yeah, like everything, like, the whole 9 yards, trying to debunk it. So then I don't know how, but I managed to, be like, can I turn this light on, and like reach my hand out to the darkness. And my fiance was immediately on board with it, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe something is freaking her out, or maybe I'm freaking her out. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna turn this lamp on. So once I turn the light on, I feel a little bit better, but it's still just like, what was that? You know, like I'm still thinking about it. It's like, it's, you know. So we finished the movie, and then I'm immediately like, okay, time to go to bed, and I'm like in the bedroom because I just cannot be there anymore. So once we're in the bedroom, I think I might have said something like, yeah, there's like something talking to me, something yelled at me, or just a very simple explanation of why I was so afraid. But I didn't want to scare my fiance. I didn't want to, you know, have to like make us leave. So I don't know how I managed how. We must have had some kind of melatonin, but I zonked out once we were in bed. So the next day, we're kind of like, I want to talk about it more, and I'm trying to bring it up. And we get ready, we don't really talk about it. And then once we're in the car, we have a good opportunity to kind of like talk about what happened. So then I finally say, okay, here's exactly what happened. It yelled at me, like it didn't want us here. It told us to get out. It was right in front of my face, yelling at me. There's no mixing that up with anybody that's in the other apartment because it was right in front of my face. And it sounded very gruff and wispy and like angry. So then my fiance goes to say, oh yeah, well, you know how like, and I must have forgot to say this, but she got up at one point when the lights were still off, bless her soul, and went and closed that sliding door all the way. So she tells me, yeah, you know, I got up and closed that door because I kept seeing things like peering around the door frame and looking at us. And I'm thinking like, okay, I saw the exact same fucking thing. And it makes sense that it would have been pacing and looking at us, because if it doesn't want us here, it's like, what the fuck are you doing here? So once we talk about it, we just erupt into this whole conversation about like, oh my God, like we were encroaching on this like ghost's territory. And it wasn't really like, I was really excited because we've had like paranormal experiences before. We've been ghost hunting, but like never anything that crazy. So we're in the car, we're talking about it all day. And then on the way home, we're kind of like, do we even want to really stay here? Like, it's really angry that we're here. And it's not so much that we're scared. It's more like we are encroaching on its territory and it's angry and like, who knows what could happen. So we decide to leave early. So we go back after our day out and we pack our stuff and we kind of gather all of our things. And I'm really avoiding that kitchen area because I can just feel like, even with the window open, it's darkness and like just scary in there. We go to leave and I'm obviously like, I'm sorry that we stayed here and, you know, invaded your space. And we were looking in the guest book and no one had said anything about anything weird happening to them and everything. So I really fought the urge to write something that was like, we had someone else staying here with us. I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to scare anybody. So I don't really know how old the house was. I have no idea if anything significant happened there or, you know, what kind of renovations went on and all that. But whatever was there was just angry, wanted to be left alone, and didn't really enjoy us sitting on the couch watching horror movies and, you know, eating snacks. So I have a lot of stories to share, but I thought that one was really interesting because it's not the typical, like, I live in this haunted house and whatever. More so like, I thought I was going to have a chill weekend for my birthday, and I was super wrong because the veil was very thin, and whatever was there was very unhappy. Only thing I have left to say is we have not stayed in an Airbnb since, and I'm kind of afraid to do that again if it's just a regular house, because I don't want to be encroaching on someone's territory. So, thanks for watching.